Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the show once again this week. And as always, of course, I'm your host, David Burrows. I hope you had a great weekend. I know mine was busy. I wasn't in town. I was out of town. Long days, but some good fun work, actually, with my friends from WeStream. So thanks to WeStream for having us down to help them out. We were live streaming gymnastics, if you can believe that. But that's another story. I hope you had a good weekend. And if you're watching this live today here in Sarnia, Ontario, what is it? Let's Alexa, what's the current temperature?
Right now, it's 17 degrees. Tonight, expect a low of 4 degrees.
How awesome is that? Now, I don't know. Now let's see if Siri says the same thing, right? See now, difference of opinion there. Siri says 19 degrees. Alexa, what's the current temperature?
Right now, it's 17 degrees. Tonight, expect a low of 4 degrees.
So Alexa says it's 17 degrees. Siri says it's 19 degrees. Guess which one I like better? 19 degrees. Wow. And then tomorrow it drops down. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about the weather, but I do like, I think we're all kind of ready for this warm weather, right? So enjoy it while we can. It's still going to go up and down. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Got a great lineup this week. We're going to talk some music some family-friendly music you can get out to. We're going to talk some jazz music, and then we're going to go over to the business side of things and talk some business and independent business here in Sarnia. So 3 fantastic guests. I know I say it every week, but I'll say it again. Mondays are one of my favorite days of the week because I get to talk to some really cool people. Brad Morrison says 67 degrees. Is that Fahrenheit? Or where are you, Brad? Brad's always got to jump in there and get his opinion there. Nice to have you watching. And for those of you watching, we are going to have some fun and lots to talk about for sure. But first, we've got some other local things that are happening here in Sarnia, some upcoming events, and we want to talk about that. First off, we want to talk about Sarnia Sings. Yes, I've been talking about it every week, but the reason I do is because the tickets are almost gone. Less than 100 tickets, at least as of yesterday. I checked at imperialtheater.net. Tickets are only $25, and this is supporting mental health and mental health awareness and suicide prevention and creating awareness for that as well. This is Sarnia Sings Volume 3, and my friend Adam Dumont began this 3 years ago, reached out to me, asked me to get involved with him as the MC and maybe some behind-the-scenes stuff as well. But I'll tell you the truth, he does it all. He really does it all. He listens to my opinion and he puts it all together, and he does a fantastic job. Sold out last year. The first year it happened, I think there were only 10 seats that didn't sell out. Last year sold out. Less than 100 tickets available. 93 exactly, as I counted last night. And you got to go to imperialtheater.net to get those tickets. And it's still not even until May 2nd. And only 93 tickets left. So you definitely want to be there. Old school Fahrenheit. Yes. I never did Fahrenheit. I'm not that old school. I'm old school. There you go. Okay, Brad. So Sarnia Sings. Maybe Brad's going to be there. Brad, I think we should get you to sing. Maybe we'll have you sing next year. Love to have you on board for that. May 2nd, it's a Thursday night. Once again, supporting suicide prevention, mental health awareness, and brought to you by Royal LePage and many others, and my friend Adam Dumont. I don't think I mentioned this about Sarnia Sing. I think I was thinking about it last week, but I wasn't 100% sure. So Marilyn Gladu, our MP, is going to be singing at Sarnia Sings. That's right. Marilyn Gladu, if you've never heard her sing before, she has a beautiful, dare I say, angelic voice, Brad. She really does have a beautiful voice. Our MP Marilyn Gladu joining us, and Max Major from K106.3. He's going to be in there singing as well. We got Michael Van Hevel in there, so some fantastic stars and some other just fantastic local singers that bring this together. Okay, enough about Sarnia Sings. Go to imperialtheater.net, get your tickets, or go down to the box office, or give them a call at 344 show. And if you don't know the number and you can't look at your keypad on your, just go down there and get your tickets. Okay. I've been talking a lot about this one as well. The Tall Ships, very exciting for Sarnia Lambton to have the Tall Ships coming here. And that's happening August 9th to the 11th. Not only is that exciting, thanks to the sponsors as well, the local Carpenters Union and Imperial Site Sarnia for being major sponsors of that, along with a long list of other sponsors. This is not only going to be huge because of the Tall Ships, but partnering together with Blue Water Border Fest and Artscape. It's a whole weekend, nothing to do in Sarnia. What? Really? There is some big things happening, and you can go online for the Tall Ships celebration. Get your tickets. Thousands of tickets already sold just for the Tall Ships event. Of course, we'll have Mark Perrin from Blue Water Border Fest joining us in the next few weeks as they get ready to announce very exciting announcements for Blue Water Border Fest, and we'll tell you how to get tickets for that. Artscape by the Bay has moved their event 1 week sooner to be a part of all of this. And I'm excited to say that I will be on the ships. I will be behind the scenes. I'll be at Artscape. I will be the MC for Blue Water Border Fest. They've gotten me my own personal Superman to drive me around because I'm going to be like so many places all that weekend. And I'm really, really excited. And this isn't just Sarnia Lambton. This is people from all over. I'm talking from way out in the east coast of Canada, from the United States and all over, coming to Sarnia Lambton to see the Tall Ships. What an opportunity for us to showcase this beautiful area that we live in, Sarnia Lambton. So I'm very, very excited for that. Tall Ships, August 9th through 11th will be, I know it's a ways away, but thousands of tickets already sold for that. So don't waste time going online. Keep in mind, folks, everything I talk about here after the show will be available. We'll post the links and all the information where you can get your tickets and find out more information about all these events that we're talking about. Well, you know, Mean Gene, I just can't help say it when I think of wrestling, right? Of course, it's a different wrestling. Destiny Wrestling is coming to River City once again. It's returning there, coming up this Friday, April the 12th. So wrestling fans, get your wrestle on and get down there to the River City Vineyard, get your tickets in advance. And it's going to be an exciting show. I'm sorry I'm going to miss this one. The last one was very exciting. If you're a wrestling fan and you want things to do in Sarnia, then you need to get your tickets and go see Destiny Wrestling. And thanks to Aaron Sisson locally for bringing this back to Sarnia once again to the River City Vineyard. You're looking for some entertainment? Yeah, lots of that going on. April the 12th, down at the Hog Bar. Now, if you haven't been to the Hog Bar in downtown Sarnia yet, I refer to it as the old Mr. Mike's Variety Club downstairs. And if anybody remembers Mr. Mike's, then you're as old as me or close to it. Long time ago, it's where I began my DJ career. Whew. Anyway, another show. It's beautiful downstairs there now. It's called the Hog Bar. It's all been redone in there. They're doing a fantastic job. And they have live entertainment there every Friday and Saturday and some other things going on. And the food and the staff. And I say this honestly because it's become one of my new favorite spots to stop in on a weekend when I can. So go down there and see the Filthy Rascals and others that are going to be playing down there this Friday night, April the 12th. Patty Flaherty's, of course, has their live entertainment going on as well. We want to give a shout out to them. Haven't been down there in a while, but they have been huge supporters of independent music for many, many years. And the human rights are coming to Patty Flaherty's this Friday night as well. Nothing to do. Somebody, I know I say this once in a while, but I still run into people who say there's nothing to do in Sarnia. Yeah, okay, so they haven't seen the show yet, I guess, apparently. A couple of my guests smiling and laughing, yeah. This is a favorite, though. Cheeky Monkey, our independent record store, and a whole lot more here in Sarnia. It's one of the few surviving record stores in Ontario, the only one in our area, and huge supporters, again, of local music. It is Record Store Day Canada, coming up this Saturday, April the 13th, and they have deals and fun and music. And did I mention deals? They are going to open their doors bright and early, as always. Goes till 5:30. Typically, people are lined up early in the morning before the doors open to get in there. And this is exclusive to independent record stores. You're going to see things coming out on vinyl. You won't get at the other big places. Support local. Go to Cheeky Monkey and go to cheekymonkeysarnia.ca to get information about that. And I wish I could be down there. I'm going to be out of town, but I'll tell you, I often buy DVDs, etc., from our friends at Cheeky Monkey. And if they don't have it, I talk to Marianne. Well, I think Roland has a lot to do with it too, but Marianne's she takes the order, and I tell her what I need, and she finds it if it's not in the store, and then very quickly is brought to my attention. Your order is in, and I'm so happy to get down and get it. Some hard to find stuff too. So if you're looking for the deals and you're still one of the vinyl record lovers, I think a lot of it has to do with the art that's on the record albums myself. I think that's a lost art that's maybe coming back. Anyway, Independent Record Store Day Canada coming down to Cheeky Monkey this Saturday, April the 13th. Also, and I'm happy to see the return of Cornerstone. Cornerstone, of course, played for a while, and they were doing different things, and now they've kind of regrouped, and I'm so happy to see Cornerstone playing some more locally. They're a fantastic group, and they're going to be playing at the Moose Lodge this Saturday afternoon. So here's the plan, I think. I think you go down to Cheeky Monkey in the morning, and you do whatever you got to do there, and then when you're done, maybe you go out for lunch somewhere downtown, maybe to the Hog Bar. And then when you're done at the Hog Bar, you come out of there, you head on down to the Moose Lodge for 4:00, and you go see Cornerstone. They're done early at 8:00, and then you still have that. Like, you can make a whole day out of this. Do you see how I connected the dots there? That was pretty good, I thought. All right, Cornerstone coming to the Moose Lodge 4 to 8 this Saturday as well. All right. Whew, boy, I had lots to say there, didn't I? Course, lots to talk about, lots of things to do, but now let's get to the live stuff. I'm really excited to have my first guest here, the Lambton Concert Band. Oh, really? You didn't know we had one of those, eh? Well, we're going to talk about that. My friend Don's coming up here from the lobby. Hello, Don. Thanks for joining me.
Hi, David. Thanks for the invitation. Can I send you my event calendar and you'll just fill it up for the month?
Yeah, do that. You know what? We actually have on my website an event calendar, and you can log in there and put it all there.
Perfect.
I'd love to do that.
Anyways, yes, I am in the Lambton Concert Band, and I happen to be president of the Lambton Concert Band right now. And our Lambton Concert Band has been going on for quite some time. I have been in the band for about 10 years. My daughter was playing trombone in high school at the time, and she dragged me over to a rehearsal, and the rest is history. So the Lambton Concert Band, we have about 50 concert band members, and they're playing a variety of instruments, and we make a pretty big sound in the Sarnia Library Auditorium. So we are going to be, after you said to go to the Hog Bar and a number of other things on the Saturday. So on the Sunday afternoon, you're going to rest on Sunday morning and then come over to our concert at 2:30 p.m. at the Sarnia Public Library Auditorium, downtown Sarnia. And at this concert, you are going to be able to get in for the measly price of $12 for adults, $6 for students. Anybody under 14 is free.
Wow. And
we are featuring a full 2-hour concert, which is a family friendly. So if you have little kids that like to run around, maybe escape from their seats and run around in the aisles, we are not going to be annoyed or distressed about that. In that 2 hours, we have a intermission of free food. So free snacks, free beverages in the lobby of the Sarnia Public Library Auditorium. Anyways, our concert on April 14 is all about fantastic creatures. And so we're playing a variety of music that includes some Mario Brothers,
wait a minute,
Bear's Picnic,
Mario Brothers,
Harry Potter, World of Warcraft, Waltzing Matilda, all really interesting pieces. And our conductor, if you've never been to one of our concerts before, our conductor gets really into the music. She's like practically dancing up there on the podium. So if you don't find the music interesting, you're going to find our conductor extremely fascinating.
Wow. That's a lot. Lots a lot going on there. Let's back up a little bit. And you said Mario music, like Mario Brothers?
Yep, Mario Brothers. So we've got a Super Mario Brothers music piece that we are playing. It's going to be, I've never heard this before live. So this is going to be pretty wild.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that sounds interesting. That's why when you say Mario Brothers, I'm like, wow, that sounds And I want to go. And I like when you say this is family friendly. And usually when you say family friendly, that usually means you can bring the kids and nobody will be offended or anything. But you're saying like the kids get excited and they run around the room. You're okay with that. I think that's really neat.
They do. And by the way, we are also inviting some local Sparks and Brownies to participate in this concert, and then they're going to be selling Girl Guide cookies afterwards. So this is a real community event.
Yeah. Now let's go back even further to the beginning. You talk about your daughter dragged you out to this originally to a rehearsal, and the rest is history. But how long has the Lambton Concert Band been around? Because I only really heard of it recently.
Isn't that something? Well, yes, the band has been around since 2001. So that's almost a lifetime for some people. And the band has been practicing in a variety of local schools. Right now, we practice at Great Lakes Secondary School. And by the way, this is a good invitation to anyone out there who has a dusty clarinet or flute sitting in your den that you haven't hauled out for a while. Perhaps you'd be interested in coming out to our band and trying it out for yourself.
Well, that's there's a lot of talent in this town, like especially
Definitely.
It seems like the music world, especially in this town. How many did you say again are involved as far as the band goes?
Well, the attendance at the band goes kind of up and down depending on how busy you get. But currently there's about 50 people in the band. On that, in the auditorium at Sarnia Library, I mean, we would love to have other people participating and coming up on stage. We just don't have the room for them up there because that stage is packed with us musicians.
You're going to have to start the Lambton Concert Band Part 2. You have to share the stage. You'll have the Lambton Concert Band for the first hour and the rest for the that's
exactly.
Because I remember being younger and going to actually the International Symphony,
right?
Feeling the power of the woodwinds and like everything that's going on up there, and the banging of and I say banging in a good way, like the banging of the drum, and there's a lot of coordination that must go on with that. I mean, where do you rehearse? Do you have a rehearsal spot? Do you rehearse at Great Lakes, or where do you do that?
Right. So we are rehearsing at Great Lakes. So that's every week for about a couple of hours. And then we also have a storage place for all of our equipment. So yes, at this concert on April 14 at 2:30, we are about 2 hours before that loading up the stage, setting things up, getting our moving truck loaded up with all of our stuff, getting the music ready to go. So yes, there's a lot, and we have a lot of volunteers. For example, just coordinating all the food for the intermission is a job in itself.
And where does that come from? Is that donated, or is that purchased, or how does that happen?
Yeah, that's all of us band members. So probably on Saturday during the day, after my visit to the Hog Bar and those other music events you were talking about, I'll be baking some muffins in my kitchen.
Oh, you're a master baker, are you?
Well, I have some guinea pigs at the auditorium at the Sarnia Library, so you'll be able to taste my home-cooked muffins there.
Oh, okay. Now, what do you play, Don?
I play in the trumpet section. So we have about 7 trumpet players in this band. So yeah, it's a variety of instruments. I'm playing trumpet, and then there's some saxophone sitting next to me, some French horns sitting behind. There's some clarinet and flute players sitting in front of us. They always complain about how loud us trumpets are, so they're usually wearing ear protection at the concert.
Right.
And then there's we've got a good-sized percussion group in the band, and yeah, every section is well represented. We've got a good balance in this band.
Well, with 50 up there, and you probably know my next guest coming up here, then Chris Molyneaux. He's a big sax player, and
Absolutely.
You should get him up on stage to join you if you haven't already.
All right.
This is going to be a great performance, and the library theater is the auditorium is actually it's a great venue that it's nice to see it being used more and more. And it's I'll just throw this out there to people thinking of putting something on that it's very reasonably priced as well. I think
it really is. There is no bad seat in that auditorium.
Yeah, I remember going there when I was a little boy and watching plays and stuff, and
right.
It's nice to see that gets used.
Yep.
Quite a bit. Who decides now? There's again a lot going on here. So, how do you come up with the theme like Fantastic Creatures, and how do you decide? There must be a lot of music that gets left out because there's only so much time in a performance.
You've got that right. We have a library that's just packed with pieces, and then our musical director Tessa Catton, a longtime teacher over at Skits, retired now, so she can devote more time to playing her flute in other groups as well as directing our band. She plays a big role in coming up with the pieces that we play in this band. So she has our concert themes planned out for probably the next year and a half.
Oh, wow.
So she's the person who comes up with these themes, riffling through the music, and then she's the one who came up with the idea of playing the Super Mario Brothers piece that we had to order special and pay big bucks to be allowed to use the rights to play this piece. So yeah, she's really heavily involved in music selection and concert themes.
Yeah. I think I like how you brought up pay the big bucks to play these things, because I think a lot of times, when people look at the price of a ticket to a performance or plays at the Imperial Theater is a good example. You don't just get a script, put it together, and you get to put on a show. You have to pay for the rights to these things.
That's right.
Legally, right? And
yeah,
you don't want to mess around with that because there's big fines and stuff involved. And that's why sometimes the price of the ticket is a little more than maybe we'd like it to be. But I mean, you're looking at $12 or $6 or free.
Yes.
So any money that is if there's any profit from this, I'm guessing it just goes back into the Lambton the band fund to put on more shows and just keep going, and maybe need some chairs or whatever that looks like, right?
Yeah. We are a charitable organization, so our objective is not to make money. We're hoping to break even. And you are right. There's just recently we bought new stands for the band, music stands, so we can use those. We purchase music. We're got a new set of banners that we display at the front of the band. So there's always little things to spend money on for the band.
Well, you can always find places to spend money, that's for sure.
That's right.
So now if someone wanted to get involved, how do they do that? I've got your website up there. Is there somewhere, if they visit the website, they can find a spot to say, hey, I want to play?
That's right. They can contact me on the website. My email address as president of the band is up there on the website. There's also some other email addresses there. Or they can come to our concert and then approach any member of the band and get directed to one of us. And then we can let them know what time to come out and let them know the caliber of music that we're playing. By the way, also our band is also going to be involved in setting up a junior band. So if you come out to our band and feel like, wow, my clarinet really is dusty, I've forgotten a lot of this stuff, you can come out to our junior band, get warmed up, and then move on to our regular concert band.
Well, that's good to know because, and I'm going to get in trouble for saying this now, because my wife plays the trumpet.
All right, come on out.
She play all the time, and well, she's my wife, but she's quite good, or was anyway. And she keeps making the excuse that there's something, her valves are crooked or something like that. He doesn't, and I say, well, I might know a guy.
All right. Excellent.
So I tell her no more excuses. She's got to come out and see you guys.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Makes you wonder how many trumpets or trombone. I played the trombone in public school.
Okay.
And that's because you didn't have to be accurate. Trombone players are going, what? No, anyway.
Yep.
Makes you wonder how many winded instruments are lying around in a basement somewhere not getting used, like
It's really true. We meet those people at the concert. They're attending in the audience, and they all usually have a music story to tell to one of us performers. And we're always telling them, hey, come on out. Check us out.
Yeah. And I apologize if I don't say your last name correctly, but it's VanderKlok?
VanderKlok, sort of like the time.
Okay, there you go. I didn't know if I was O or Ah.
Okay.
Ron, thank you so much. I appreciate you joining me here, and we'll tell everybody that we've got your website up on the show right now.
Right.
And fantastic creatures this Sunday. Is there anything else you want to throw in before I let you go?
Well, I'll just say that our concerts are great. If you're going to miss that, just look for further announcements of other concerts. We've got a next concert coming up on June 23 called Happily Ever After. So some more really interesting music to listen to.
Fantastic. Well, Don, I'd love to have you back again to talk about that one. So
That's excellent.
Reach out to me, put me on your list, and that link I sent you to book yourself on the show, you can use that again anytime and book it right now if you want to. You're
nice. Okay. Thanks a lot for the invitation, David. I never knew about your show until now, and I'm gonna be watching your show now.
Fantastic. Well, and I'll see you around the halls at school.
Yes, sir. Thanks, David.
Take care now. All right, Don VanderKlok. They have that right. I was so happy to. Well, it was an accidental meeting, I have to say, but I'm so glad that I did. The Lambton Concert Band. It's been around, since 2001, I believe he said. And I had no idea up until about a year and a half ago that they existed. And they really do put on some great performances. And if you love music and you love to get out, Sunday afternoon, what are you going to do? If you after church, you're going to go see some music. Go have brunch and then go see the Lambton Concert Band. Fantastic Creatures is what it's called. And again, happening at the Sarnia Public Library Theatre this Sunday at 2:30 in the afternoon. All right. Well, my next guest, no stranger to the show. I don't have him here as often as I would like because he's just a busy fellow. He was first on the show about 7.5 years ago, and I labeled him the Saxaphone Sensation. I don't know if he likes that name or not, but that's what I keep calling him. Our friend Chris Molyneaux is here. Chris, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How about you?
I'm doing really well.
You're a busy fellow.
Yes, busy is kind of an understatement right now, but I've got so many things on the go right now that it's tough to list in just like a short segment. But yeah.
Where are you coming to us from right now?
I am coming to you from DeSena's Hardware in Brights Grove. In Brights Grove.
So you're working too.
Yes, and probably the only place I'll work where my boss will allow me to do something like this.
You got a connection there with the boss, right?
Yes, very special connection.
That's good. Well, I won't keep it more than 15 minutes anyway.
All right.
Let's take it back a little bit. You've been playing lots. You went away to school. You had a dream and a vision, if you will, with what you wanted to do with music from quite a young age, and then you went to school and you came back and you're already doing it. You're teaching music, you're playing music, and getting paid to play the music.
Yep.
You'll be feeling pretty good about your accomplishments.
I'm feeling pretty good so far. I mean, I've got some more ambitions that are they're still yet to be realized. But yeah, looking back at it and what you just listed there, yeah, things are going well. Things are going well as a teacher at Lake Road. Things are going well directing my own band, the Chris Molyneaux Jazz Trio, and things are going well with all the other music related work that I've been getting over the last couple of years now.
Yeah, and I'm sure. Well, I know that you get asked a lot to join in some shows, and please be a part of what we're doing. And would you make an appearance here and make an appearance there? That's got to be pretty flattering for you to get that response from the public.
Yeah. By the way, Don, if you're still watching, I'm up to do the Lambton Concert Band anytime you need me.
Ah, there you go. Well, you could probably go down there just Sunday and walk up on stage, and they'd let you.
Yeah, probably.
Let's talk about the Chris Molyneaux Jazz Trio.
All right.
This is the most recent in your projects. How long have you had this trio together? 3
years now. We got together at Humber College. These are my colleagues, and yeah, we've been playing at a number of different events, private events, festivals, all that kind of stuff. A recent one, we had just wrapped up the voting contest for the Toronto Undergrad Jazz Festival, and we were one of the most voted acts for that contest. I can't tell you exactly if we're performing there or not, because it's not 100% confirmed. I can tell you the Undergrad Jazz Fest takes place at the Mel Lashman Square in Toronto from September 3rd to 8th.
Right. Say that 5 times fast. Well, how did this you're looking for people to vote for you to get into this festival then?
Yeah, we had a video of ours. Well, it's kind of a video. It's just our audio submitted to the Undergrad Jazz Festival page, and the more likes you got, each like counted as a vote, and the most votes would go on to perform at the show. So yeah, so again, we haven't received a confirmation email yet, so I can't tell you that we're playing there yet. So yeah.
So we're fingers crossed.
Yes, fingers crossed. I get an email saying hey, you're welcome in.
Well, I think there's a lot of people that have voted already, and a lot of people who are looking to support you and make sure you get in there, because I've as many have from afar anyway. I've seen you grow as a musician and honestly as a young man growing and going through a lot of things. What keeps you going? You've got a lot of support around you, right? Like family and friends.
And I'm very lucky in that regards. I mean, to have people to have behind my back, even in times where I was struggling to do what I was able to do. So
yeah, kind of helps you with that no quit attitude.
Yeah, it does.
Because sometimes you feel sometimes no, never mind. I'm just gonna go do something else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and there were times in college where I thought, what if I just dropped everything, went back home, and did this, and every time I had a support system to be no, you're gonna finish this, you're gonna get through it, you're gonna realize your dream. So very, very lucky in that regards.
Yeah. Well, then it's important to have that around you, because otherwise we might we just might quit, right, and go do
That's
something
true.
else, but then you wouldn't be happy, right? And then you'd be miserable.
That's right.
What?
And speaking of things to be happy about, we have another big accomplishment of our trio is that we recorded our first full-length album. It's called
Yeah.
Closer to Home. There's CDs available at DeSantis Hardware, but you can also buy it online at bandcamp.com. So if you go chrismolyneaux.bandcamp.com, you can find our album Closer to Home, and you can buy it for $10.
That's awesome. Make sure you send me that link, and I'll post it after the show. I was going to ask you about that. What is this? This is original music that you're doing?
This is all original music. Yep, this is all original music. Me playing saxophone, Wesley Taylor playing the bass, and Mark Athanasiadis on the drums.
Nice. Now, do you all live in the same city?
No, these guys are from the GTA, and I'm from Sarnia. So setting up gigs is a bit of a challenge, but it's always worth it. To get a gig that supports us. That supports us well.
But how do you rehearse then?
Sometimes before, like we'll plan a trip like the day before or the day after a gig where we just take the time to rehearse songs. Oftentimes we just wing it during shows too.
Right?
Yeah, that's what jazz is all about. You just throw your ideas out there and see if something sticks.
Yeah. Well, when you have the right talented people around you and you get a synergy going, great things happen, right?
Yes.
Where do you get your ideas from? Like when you're, because I know you've got quite a studio at home too, because you're playing, I know you're mostly known for the saxophone, but you're playing what else? The flute and the clarinet, and you're playing keys and drums, and like you're multi-talented musician.
Yeah.
So where do you get your, like, where does your creativity come from when you, is it emotion or is it personal things that happen in your life that you try to put in your music, or how do you put it all together?
Not everything comes from like a person. Not everything comes from a personal level. Sometimes I just figure it out like what emotionally charges me, and given that I've played multiple instruments, I could decide like, is this fit for piano? Is this fit for the clarinet? Is this fit for the saxophone? Like, so it's a privilege to be able to choose that kind of thing. But yeah, it's a lot of it is emotionally driven, whether or not it's connected to something that's happened to me personally or not. So,
right, or maybe something you've observed,
so, like something I've seen and I have like sympathy for.
Right.
Yeah.
The three of you all, like, is it you creating this, or the three of you all have your input when you create the songs, or does each write their own, or how does that work?
Well, with Closer to Home, I wrote most of the songs. There is one credited to our bass player Wesley, and that he wrote, and then we kind of like put like the finishing touches together. But it does feel like when I do write these songs, these guys throw their 2 cents in and say like, hey, what if we did it this way, or what if we did it this way?
Right. Yeah. So it's a collaboration for the most part then.
It is a collaboration, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, what about family? Are they of course they're positive and supporting, but are they good critics too?
Yep, they're not afraid to tell me if I need to do something else, or what do you think I should expand. In fact, my mom and dad have been like the ones suggesting like, hey, why don't you get more instruments in here? Why don't you play the keyboard? Why don't you sing? Why don't you throw the flute or the clarinet in for a couple songs?
Yeah, you're gonna need a bigger house. Well, that's great that you're doing this. I'm so proud of you, and watching you grow as a musician and doing these things, because I do remember the story from 7 years ago when we first met, and it's probably close to 8 years ago now. But
I still remember that day like it was yesterday. Like,
yeah. And who's your hockey team?
Leafs.
Go Leafs! You're still a Leaf fan, are you?
From through thick and thin. Thursday night, game 1 against the Bruins. Woo!
There you go. I remember you bringing that up in our first interview too. And,
That's right.
so some exciting times ahead in the hockey world, hopefully for the Leaf fans, right? We'll see what happens there.
I hope so. I want a better outcome than last year. So
I'm sure every Leaf fan would agree with that.
yeah.
So can people still vote for you? Is there still time to do that, or is that done?
Sadly voting's been closed, and yeah, which I know is unfortunate timing for the taping of this show. But yeah, I think we closed out with over like 100 likes on Facebook and over 50 likes on Instagram. So we're in good shape. There's nothing been made official yet, but I think we're in good hands.
All right. Well, will you let me know when that happens, and that way I can tell everybody on next week's show as well? Or
yeah. So yeah, don't forget to tell your fans. So if you want to follow me on Facebook, there's two pages that you could follow. Chris Molyneaux Music for everything related to stuff outside of my band, and then Chris Molyneaux Jazz Trio if you want to find out where me, Wes, and Mark are heading out next. We've got a lot of stuff lined up this summer, and there's announcements coming.
All right. Yeah, well, we've got the Chris Molyneaux Jazz Trio up here on the screen showing everybody, and we'll share the other links as well. And please let me know, if you would, where you're going to be playing, and if I can't have you here every week, but I can at least let people know where yourself or the Jazz Trio is going to be playing. I haven't seen the Jazz Trio yet, so I'd love to get out and see it.
Yeah, so I could tell you there are performances coming this summer, and there's another album that I'm in the process of writing. So yeah,
okay.
So big announcements coming up, but you're gonna have to stay tuned by following my pages. Don't forget to buy my album on Bandcamp, or come on down to DeSena's if you want a CD.
All right, I'm going to make the trip down there to see you. I want a copy.
Excellent.
All right, Chris, thanks so much for joining me, and thanks to the boss for giving you 15 minutes to join me here today.
Thanks, boss.
Chris, take care, and all the best to you, and good luck with getting into the Jazz Festival.
Thank you.
Take care. Chris Molyneaux, the saxophone sensation, I like to call him. What a story he is. You could probably do a documentary on this young fellow already, for as much as he's already done and accomplished with his music. He sets out his goals and he works hard at achieving them, and he's achieved many. And now the Chris Molyneaux Jazz Trio, fingers crossed to see them get into the Jazz Festival. He's going to let us know that for sure. Chris, thank you so much. And once again, make sure you thank the boss there for letting you on for 15 minutes. All right. Well, talk about great stories. This next story is a great local story that I'm excited to finally have this lady here on my show. We've known each other for quite some time, actually, and then cross later again in life, and you get talking more and you realize some of the similarities. And I just thought this is a great story that needs to be told from a great local person here. Her name is Chrissy McRoberts, and she's ready to come on now. Hello, Chrissy.
Hey, David, how are you?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for, I'm glad we were finally able to make the connection here and have you on the show.
I'm glad to be here.
So let's talk about, we're here to talk about you and talk about your business, many of the things that, well, you've gone through a lot of changes in the last, what's it been, 5 years now for Dog Eat Dog?
Yep.
And when you got started, it wasn't just Dog Eat Dog, it was something else, right?
Started out as Dog Eat Dog Bakery for dog furniture and a dog treat that I used to throw around. Yeah. Right.
And then things have progressed from there. So obviously you're a dog lover.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see you got a friend there with you joining us.
This is my big boy Legend.
This is Legend?
Yeah. Legend.
And then you got another one there.
DOG.
DOG?
Yeah.
What kind of dog are they?
This Legend's an Old English Bulldog, and DOG is a Valley dog that originated on the East Coast, so it's an Old English Bulldog with a Boxer mix.
Oh, okay. And you've got, so which one's in the logo?
That would be Legend.
Legend. All right. So is that Legend first?
Yes.
Okay. Because you didn't want it, so DOG doesn't feel left out?
Dioge's just a puppy, and he's still got a little bit of going for him. So yeah, I can't bring him into the store and expect him to relax and sleep. So Legend's the one that gets to be the forerunner for the business.
There you go. So this started out as dog furniture and I guess special dog treat, but now it's progressed into more. What's Dog Eat Dog about now?
I think I've come from trying to produce something that I knew could make money to producing something that I love doing that is making money. Right. So now I'm really loving it, and it's allowing my creativity to come out. And the biggest moment is when you say, I'm no longer in competition with anybody. I'm just in this to make what I want to make. And if people like it, that's fantastic. And so far I've won the lottery on that.
Yeah, because, well, what you do, I'll tell you, you call it rustic industrial. Is that right?
Correct.
So I've got some pictures here. Let's show our audience. This one here. Is that 30?
That's at Patty Flaherty's.
Yeah.
And I went to visit. There was a request for a table. There was a wee pub table in the corner. They call it the Guinness Corner. And when I came in, you could see there was this beautiful high back seat. And it just needed something to call attention to that area and obviously add more seating and bring in more money. I mean, owners want to make the money. So I was lucky that they trusted me enough to come up with an idea out of the blue. And that's what transitioned. And every time I've been in there, I don't seem to get a seat at it because it's always filled with people. So that's great to hear.
So you should have maybe engraved your name at one spot on it or something and said, this is Chrissy's spot.
My name and my logo go on every single piece, big piece. So if you search the table, you'll find it.
Is that right? Wow. And that just like, I couldn't even, I have trouble hitting a nail with a hammer, never mind putting something together like that. Like that's an amazing piece. How long from the time that they said, yes, we want you to do this, how long from start to finish to putting it in the spot there does that piece there, would that take you?
I think at that point with my schedule, there was a point where I was 4 months away. People were still calling, trying to place orders. And when you're saying 4 months, but I still needed to schedule, and people are saying, awesome, where do you want me to spend my money? That was kind of that shining moment of, wow, people are willing to get some. Really was the moment where I knew I'm just going to plow through this and start doing what I really love and not be reserved or worry about what people think is in style. I really just started doing my own thing. And this was amazing.
Did you expect that? I mean, obviously that was the hope, but did you expect the response that you got? Or were you overwhelmed, I guess, right?
You always hope, right? The big dream is HGTV. I mean, that's
right.
what I want, but not necessarily to make my furniture, but to get involved in helping people that work from home. I mean, every mistake that could ever be made from somebody that wants to start a small business in furniture, I made every single mistake. And I somehow got involved in the Cube that's offered at Lambton College, and it's an entrepreneurship program that's free. And they kind of started to help me backtrack and correct what I could. And now it's just taken off. I have to thank Dave, owner of Blackwater Coffee. Dave was probably the first client that said, we're really going to help you on this one. Anybody that asks what you've made, they're handing out business cards. They promote me every chance they get. And that really was the moment that said, don't listen to anybody, do what you think is right and get out there and attack it. So it's really gone really well since then.
I can, you and I both definitely agree on Dave and Alyssa down at Blackwater Coffee. They've given me lots of their support as well. So they're fantastic people to have in your corner, so to speak.
Absolutely. 100%. And I, again, try to promote Blackwater as much as I can. And in saying that, I've probably bought back and paid for all of my own furniture that's been installed at Blackwater. And Dave laughs sometimes saying that I should probably pay rent for bringing all my clients there, but that's okay because the most comfortable, amazing place to be, and of course the best coffee we have to offer.
Yeah, well, we'll give them a shout out there right now on the channel. And Blackwater Coffee, you can find out more about them at blackwatercoffee.ca, or better yet, you just go downtown and say hello to them down there. Great staff in there too. I like to call them the Cheers of coffee shops.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there you go. What are we looking at here? I see these are clocks on the wall and some other different things. So this is more examples of what you do?
Yeah, I'm not too much into the signs. My son kind of steps up and he wants to make a little bit of money to be able to buy a vehicle or whatever. So I'm trying to get him in the shop a little more. Of course, he wants nothing to do with it, but yes, he likes the money. The clock, I try to use as much recycled wood as I can, but I love the steampunk, very masculine, rustic look of the wood. That small clock comes away from the wall with steel pipe, and then there's a wee door that opens up and you can put whatever you want to hide inside. And it's just kind of cute. So we're going to go in. My clocks seem to sell very well. For 2 years, I have not been able to keep up with my clock sales. So hopefully now in the new store, it will be filled with clocks.
Yeah, and that's I can't wait to see the new store, which this is I know super exciting for you, because this is something that's been on your mind for a while, and now it's finally coming true to life.
I can't even put to words how happy everything, the timing. I seem to come across as very picky, but I know what I want. And I now have 23 artisans that are signed on, that everything that they make that's coming into the store is going to be one of a kind, not sold anywhere else. This is home furnishings at the top level. We have 5 woodworkers. None of us have the same style or anything in common. I want, when customers come, to know that they're going to have a variety. It's one of a kind. If they order something or see something that they love, but they want something extra to go with it, of course, the artisan's going to take custom orders. They're going to do whatever you want, which becomes that win-win situation with our relationship, where I'm promoting custom orders. I'm also selling your work here. We're not charging a commission of any sort. There is a fee that comes with it, but it's the freedom of everybody not worrying about the money and working as a team and trying to come together to create something unique that's not a competition. I'm calling it a non-competition zone. So to have 5 woodworkers in one place and not competing with each other, we're actually growing together. I'm really trying to build that theme in the store.
Growing and collaborating together. What a great concept. Working together. I think that's fantastic.
We're not in competition, right? That's it takes down cities. It takes down businesses. If you are wasting any time somebody else, you're not worried about what you're doing.
Yeah, well, and I guess there's always risks involved, right? You know, when in dealing with more than one personality in the room and stuff. But that being said, I still think it's worthwhile to do, right? As long as you just got to find the right people who are on the same page, work with like-minded people, right? You know, I was at a tourism conference a couple of years ago, and the theme was collaboration and, you know, telling stories and that sort of thing. You really tell a story with your work too when you put something together, right?
I try to have personality and everything. I'm certain it's difficult for people to place an order with me because, yeah, here's a sketch and everything looks great, but I need them to know that I'm going to do something to it that I want. I'm going to get that idea. I want to hear you personally and really dig down to what you really, really want and what you really need and what's going to work in your home. And then I'm going to put a twist on it. So kind of like Blackwater, when the first time Dave ordered a table and I said, and I want to throw some coffee beans in there. And he said, leave that out this time. And when I showed up, sure as shit, there's the coffee beans. And I think maybe he wasn't happy at the beginning. And the deal was leave it here for a couple of weeks. And if people don't like it, then we'll get you a whole new table. And second table, of course, the request was, can you throw a few coffee beans in there? And
wrong.
Yeah, I want that as my ringtone, Dave. I was wrong. You were right.
I know, eh? And I remember the first time I ever sat down at that table in there, and I looked and I was like, what's wrong with this wood? And
Yep.
coffee beans in there. What a clever idea.
Something a little different, right?
Well, I think that's a lot of and other people that I've talked to. I've talked about you behind your back.
Awesome.
That's what they say about you. Oh, she just, there's one thing to be creative, but you're unique creatively. It's to be creative is one thing, but unique creativeness, I think, is a good way to describe what, at least some of the pieces that I've seen and others that have described you as well. So, what it's got to be, because this is a really time-consuming art that you're involved with. Is it difficult to? And I don't want to get into bank accounts or anything, but is it difficult to price these things out from your heart, or does the heart get in the way sometimes?
The heart probably for whom I'm selling to. Not that I'm attached to the piece, but I've had this idea in my head in the beginning. I wanted to have work in 10,000 homes and have people bragging about the piece and not being stressed out about what they paid, then sell 1,000 overpriced pieces in homes where people are never, ever going to mention my business name. Right. So I have shirts, of course. Can I show you my wood? But the shirt that says 5,000 plus people have paid for my wood is now 6,000 people have paid for my wood. That's not just the small trinkety stuff. I've sold 6,000 pieces in 5 years. That's an accomplishment to me out of a 12 by 12 shop in my backyard. That's something to brag about.
When do you sleep?
Oh, we get tons of sleep in there. Some days things go off really smoothly, and other days you've got to wait 4 days for epoxy to dry and cure. And now we're going to move into a business where I have 1,000 square feet in the basement to make my shop. So it's heaven to me.
Yeah. And you're a joy to talk with too. I got to tell you, because I know we met up just a few weeks ago, like officially to have our own, we gave each other our own time. We've bumped into each other many times over the last few years, and hey, how's it going? And we kind of knew what each other did, but when we finally sat down at Blackwater Coffee and had our Blackwater.
There's a freebie in there somewhere.
Yeah, there is. I'm coming in for my 3 gringos is my But you really are fun to talk with, and actually, I don't know if you saw it. Sue Bendel's out there, and she was saying, "You're such a smart, real person with nothing phony about you, Chrissy."
Aww.
And I felt the exact same way when I finally got to sit down and talk with you, and we kind of shared our minds together there. It was like, wow, she's just so real, And there's others out here, obviously. Stephanie Purdy's out there too, saying, "Brag away, Chrissy."
Go girl.
Yeah, you've got some great fans out there, and some other great local business people as well. When does the move happen?
We have been moving. I have 5 years worth of furniture that I have gathered and salvaged from the Boulevard Boutique, and have had contained, and we've been moving it over and shuffling. We're going to be painting this weekend, and of course we're keeping the true location. We are in Mitten Village, but the true location is all kind of part of the marketing scheme that's coming about, and the official opening date is May 1st.
May 1st. All right. So that's a Wednesday.
Yes. I will be closed on Monday, Tuesdays, and open every other day of the week. So when everybody else is comfy at home on their day off on a Sunday or late Saturday, Dog Eat Dog's going to be open.
There you go. Well, I'm going to do my best to pop down there and say hello to you on Wednesday, because I'm excited to see everything you've put together and some other pieces of your work. And so that the location is not public just yet.
Not yet.
No,
It'll
okay.
be coming out. We're going to have some live videos and there's going to be a few secret reveals, and by the end of the videos, everybody should know. And the sign will go up probably 4 days before we open.
Okay, all right. If you're going to be doing some live, well, let's make sure we connect, and I can give you a link that cross posts over to mine automatically. You know, we'll let more people know, and if I can be down there, I'll come down there and talk to you as well. I know you're going to be busy, but we'll shoot some stuff there for you as well. What's next after all of this? Do you have another set goal in mind?
Actually, there's a few goals, a few that are community oriented. I'm touching next week, or hopefully 2 weeks, getting in touch with some people that are looking at initiating tiny home communities that hopefully we can sway the city or bylaws into allowing this type of thing to come, but a little bit more where people can afford a home. And then on the other side of the spectrum is the homeless situation that we have, and possibly researching with other cities and states and provinces that have initiated this kind of program. Hopefully that'll come to fruition in a few years. I imagine it can't happen overnight. And then the second would be to start live video 3-4 minute chats about how to not make the same mistakes when you're initiating a business or you're in your first couple of years, and just telling people, like you said, I'm pretty grounded. I drop a few F-bombs every now and then, but
You've been really good.
I am trying. People have got to be real. Like, it's kind of like childbirth when people say, oh, there's a little bit of pain, but you'll just see the baby and it'll be gone. Not so true. So same thing with business, right? Just get into it. Take one little loan and you'll be all good. That is not how it works. There are so many surprises. It's scary. And once you're in, it's do or die. Like, people have to know what they're getting into and really have a reality. And if you've got a partner or your family, they'll have to be aware of what you're getting into. You're in the same thing. How much time do you actually get to do what you need to do with your wife? It doesn't happen. You're married to your business. The business helps support the relationship you have with your partner, and that's hard for some of them to accept.
Yeah, I wouldn't have what I have without support from my wife Jennifer, and honestly, my son lives here with us, and you know, the people around you, and you know, like people like Blackwater. You gotta surround yourself with the right people. I say that all the time, but it's really true, and that even holds a test to some of our mutual friends here, you know, like Stephanie Purdy and others watching that, given the support. I'm going to give some shout outs to who else we got out here that's saying hello to you. Oh, Jillian, Emily. Hi, Chrissy McRoberts.
Hi, Emily.
So that's fantastic. Well, talking about giving back, that's sort of how we got reconnected again, was our mutual friend Dana. I was talking to her at this the pottery event, or the celebrity bowl, I guess it was called. And I got talking to Dana, and she goes, "Do you know Chrissy McRoberts?" I said, "Oh yeah, I know Chrissy." And she started telling me some of the things that you've done to, because I know you're somebody who believes in giving back as well. You know, part of what you just talked about with the homeless, but you've done a lot of contributing to the Inn of the Good Shepherd. Inn
of the Good Shepherd, Sarnia Humane Society, and a little donation now and then to the Kidney Foundation through Elaine Hayter. I tried to give to everybody in those first few years. Anybody that asked, I thought, oh, advertising, but really, it's brutal. You can't keep up. And if we all just focused on one or two, right, everybody would pick something different, and those foundations would do better. So those are the two foundations that I've selected.
Yeah. So now you and I have a challenge that was put out, and this is you making your pottery bowl.
Thanks for posting that picture.
Well, you're welcome.
Why isn't there a picture of you breaking your whatever wheel and the clay flying everywhere? Yeah.
Never happened.
I can post that pic later.
I'd never seen any evidence. You can't prove anything. I only have a picture of me sitting in front of my bowl, which I made.
Yeah. I made 3.
I made one.
And Dana assisted me in one with our ghost rendition.
Oh, you had help. Oh, yes. You guys were singing Unchained Melody and all that. You were hoping Swayze would come out of the, So are you going to be at the event, the Empty Bowls event on Thursday?
Yeah, we're going to the evening service. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I have tickets. I'm not sure I can go, but I have a friend of mine who, so I don't know so for those of you who are watching, I started a friendly challenge one night doing a Facebook Live and challenged other folks that made their bowls to, I think the most ever bid on a bowl was $80. So one of my friends decided she's going to start collecting money from people, and I challenged. Now, Chrissy, have you been able to raise some money for this?
I have no idea. I put it out there. I also, for everybody that's watching, technically two of the bowls.
I'm going to bribe you.
I'm trying to bribe people. I have 2 bowls that are under just my name, and anybody that bids over $100, the highest bid over $100 on each of those bowls will get a $50 gift certificate to the new Dog Eat Dog store.
There you go. That's a pretty good bribe.
$100 donation to get one of my bowls that may or may not hold any liquid. I'm not quite sure. You can eat rice out of it. How about that?
Yeah, I don't even listen. I'll make you feel better. I wasn't in it last year. The year before, I was in it for the second time, and I made 3 bowls. And I went back the following year, and nobody bid on my 3 bowls. So I showed up to make another bowl, which I'm surprised they even asked me back. And I bought all my 3 bowls back. And they're sitting on a shelf around here somewhere. I don't know. They're a change dish. They can't be ashtrays anymore, so they're a change dish somewhere. I don't know. Whatever. It's all for a great cause, supporting the Inn of the Good Shepherd and the Lambton College Food Bank, which I don't think a lot of people realize Lambton College even had a food bank. So,
and it's the first time that I had even heard about it. These kids need help too, right?
Yeah.
They're in debt for their education.
Home, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I think I've raised. Well, I didn't raise it. My friend raised it. I think it's close to $240. So she's excited to go there, and I'm hoping I can go. I'm trying to get there. I have the tickets, but if I can't go, somebody else will go in my place. Chrissy, oh, there you go. Was that
I didn't drop an F-bomb, but I let you have it.
Well, okay. Oh, wow. This is a community show. Anyway, we're going to have a lot of fun with this, and we've had a lot of fun raising some of this extra money out there for the cause as well. And I don't know if that was Legend or Jojo, but they're barking saying, okay, enough's enough.
Somebody somewhere is letting me know it's snack time. Oh, there we go. It's looked after.
Chrissy, thank you so much for joining me, and congratulations on all the growth with Dog Eat Dog. And I know, as many others are, very excited and happy for you to see you moving into your new store. And I'll do my best to get down there and see you on May 1st when you let me know the new location.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Dave.
Take care, Chrissy.
Okay, bye-bye.
Chrissy McRoberts, such a joy to have her here on the show. And she's probably the first person to ever get away with a silent F-bomb on the show, I have to say. She's such a good heart and a great person to be around. And I'm very grateful that she took the time to be here, because I know she's got a lot going on, very busy. And thanks to all of you for joining me here. Thanks to all of my guests. Don VanderKlok from the Lambton Concert Band, who joined me here. They've got a special concert coming up this Sunday afternoon. And then, of course, lots going on downtown. And we'll be posting all the links to everything that we talked about here on the show. And then, of course, Chris Molyneaux, the saxophone sensation Chris Molyneaux, talking about the Chris Molyneaux Jazz Trio and many of the things that he's doing. And, of course, my friend Chrissy McRoberts, who, again, I've been looking forward to this ever since she said she could be on here. So thank you to all of my guests, and thanks to all of you for watching. I see my friend Domingos out there saying amazing. Thanks for being here. Dom, you're amazing too. Stephanie Purdy says, I know the secret. I might take bribes. Yes, you would, Stephanie. Another great soul out there joining us. And just so many great people jumping on board to watch, and all of you. If you can't watch me because you don't like looking at me or whatever, but you want to listen to me, You can do that now. The podcast is available everywhere. Podcasts. It's available on Anchor, Breaker, Google Podcasts. We're on Apple Podcasts. The show with David Burrows is even on Spotify. And if you were watching earlier today from my other show with my friend Stephen Healy from the United Kingdom, United World Radio, which is put together by Stephen Healy and the Fonz. And yes, his name is Fonz Chamberlain from United Kingdom. He's the Cambridge historian, have invited the show to be on their new worldwide network. So I'm very excited about that as well. So surround yourself with good people. Exciting things happen, right? And that's why I appreciate all of you being here. That's all the time I got for you this week, everybody. Have a great week and an even better weekend. I will see you next time right here on the show live. Bye for now.